We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 61. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vasehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me is known as a man of steady intelligence. So Krishna is continuing his Gyan portion, giving knowledge to Arjuna. Jnana Yoga. This is the portion of which is called Jnana Yoga. So then what is he saying? Who is a man of steady intelligence? Who is a man of steady intelligence? And then who restrains, controls his senses, knows how to control the senses. And how is his consciousness? His consciousness is on Krishna. Consciousness is fixed upon Krishna. What does it mean? Consciousness is fixed upon Krishna. Anyone?
Always thinking about Krishna?
Yes. Yes, that is Krishna consciousness. Always thinking, how can I please you, my dear Krishna? You know, oh, I'm thinking about the wonderful qualities of Krishna, thinking how to give Krishna to others. You know, not thinking that Krishna is not a person and he's just some consciousness, but always thinking about Krishna, how to please Krishna, thinking wonderful qualities of Krishna, thinking of the pastimes of Krishna, thinking of how to give Krishna to others. And so that is a man of steady intelligence. That is the highest conception of yoga perfection. The highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And that is the perfection of yoga. You know, we were just speaking about the meditation, meditating on light and all that. We can try all that, but nothing works. You know, if we really want to get perfect in what we are doing, unless we just want to waste time. You know, if we waste time, we can try this and that. But if you're really sincere and we know there's no time to waste, then what is this yoga thing? What is it? Become Krishna conscious. Do bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is the perfection of yoga. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. So we may artificially try to control. As we have always say, you know, how long can we close our eyes? Don't see anything. Or how long are we going to close our mouth? Don't speak. How long can we not eat? How can we survive if we don't eat? Well, maybe some yogis can. Some yogis can even stop their breathing for a long time. But we cannot control the senses permanently unless one is perfectly Krishna conscious. As we give the example always of Vishwamitra Muni. I'm sorry, he was such a great yogi. Just one more, sorry about that. Okay, so Vishwamitra Muni was a great yogi, but just Menaka came to him and he forgot his yoga practice of thousands and thousands of years. And again, reading on, now Prabhupada is speaking about Durvasa Muni. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarish. And Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. We just read about this yesterday in Bhagavatam. Again, we see how Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, how they just complement. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful as a yogi, as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sages' injustices and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualifications, as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4. So Canto 9, Chapter 4, verses 18 to 20. That's a very famous verse. These are famous verses. And so we can see that how to actually control the senses, become a devotee. Otherwise, our anger is going to get into us. We can become intolerant. All these examples of these great, great personalities are there for us to learn, take lessons. Okay. Not that we have to condemn. No, we don't condemn. But we can see, oh, the yoga practice didn't work for Durvasa Muni. He was such a great yogi, so much power, mystic power. He could reach up to Vaikuntha. He could reach up to the spiritual world, right? In this pastime we hear. So it's not ordinary. Can we go up to Vaikuntha? No, we don't have that kind of, we don't have that ability. But he had. So he's a great person, great personality. But yet, he was just a yogi, not a pure devotee of the Lord. So we can see that all that practices, so much energy and time, it's just a waste. But whereas somebody is doing his duties in the King Ambarish, he's a king, he's doing his duties. He didn't say, oh, because I'm a devotee, I'm not going to be a king. No, he's always addressed as King Ambarish, means he was doing his kingly duties. But because he's a devotee, Krishna protected him. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnani karau harir mandira marjana dishu shrutim chakara chuta satkathodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drisha tadbritya gatra sparshe anga sangamam grahanam chat tatpada saroja saurabhe Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tad Arpite Padau Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane Shiro Rishikesha Padabhivandane Kamam Chadasye Natu Kama Kamyaya Yatho Tamashloka Janashraya Ratihi. King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulasi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a matpara devotee of the Lord. A matpara devotee is a fully surrendered devotee of the Lord. What was he doing? Maharaj Ambarish. First of all, he fixed his mind. What did he fix his mind on? Not on the light, but on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He fixed his mind, always thinking of Krishna, always thinking, how can I please Krishna? Then words, speaking. What was he speaking about? He was speaking about the spiritual world, describing the abode of the Lord. He's speaking about Golok Vrindavan. Then what was he doing with his hands? He's a king. He's a king. It's not that he's not a king anymore. He's always described as King Ambarish. So if I think, oh, I'm such a great person, I'm so and so, I have such a great position, I'm not going to do all that. But here is a king. What is he doing? He is cleaning the temple of the Lord. What is he doing with his ears? He's not hearing gossip. What is he doing? He's hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So the pastimes of the Lord are so important. Not that, oh, we think, oh, but this happened 5,000 years ago. What have I got to do with this? How is it going to help me in any ways? I have many other important things to do. Why should I hear about the pastimes of the Lord? But by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, we are engaging our ears in the service of the Lord. Our ears are being purified. By hearing the pastimes of the Lord, we are able to understand the wonderful, wonderful qualities of the Lord. how wonderful he is, how sweet he is, how loving he is, how kind he is. All these qualities become evident to us the more we hear the pastimes, hear his pastimes, you know, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord. So he's seeing the deity form of the Lord. Then his body in touching the body of the devotee. This is not sexual harassment. Body in touching the body of the devotee. You know, when devotees hug each other, embrace each other, it feels so good. The heart feels so satisfied. You know, you feel, wow, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was hankering for. Because of the love the devotee has for Krishna. Then when you embrace the devotee, we can feel that love. Then his nostrils in smelling, but of course you can't embrace a man, can't embrace a woman, and a woman can't embrace a man until unless there's husband and wife. Not proper for devotees otherwise. Devotees only the same gender. His nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. So what is he doing with the flowers? He's first offering it to Krishna, and then he is smelling it. So it's not that he's saying, oh, no, I'm not going to smell the flower. It is Maya. No, what is he doing? He is offering to Krishna, my dear Krishna, please accept this flower. And then after he's offered it to Krishna, then he smells the fragrance. So excellent fragrance. Have we wondered, how is there a fragrance in the flower? How come the flowers have so much fragrance? Even after they wilt and they dry up, then they still have the fragrance. That's how you make the potpourri, right? So I heard one devotee says, because of the fragrance of the earth. Krishna says when he's speaking of his vibhutis that I'm the fragrance of the earth. He says, right, I'm the fragrance of the earth. So many times I would think that it's only when the rains fall, the first fresh rains fall, then you can get that smell of the earth. I don't know if you all have experienced it. You can smell that. But also this fragrance of the flowers, it's coming from the earth. So that's Krishna. His tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him. So the tulsi leaves, what does he do? He offers it to Krishna and then he accepts it. Where does he go? His legs in traveling the holy places where his temple is situated. So everybody likes to go sightseeing. Let's have a change of atmosphere. Let's have a change of scenery. Where is he going? He's going to the places of pilgrimages. He's going to the holy dham. Then what does he do with his head? Offer obeisances unto the Lord. The head, he's a king. He's a king. He's wearing a crown. Yet he's humbly offering his obeisances unto the Lord. We say, oh, why should I offer my humble obeisance? Why should I offer obeisances? I'm so great. Why shall I bow down to anyone? Here, this king is so great. He's a king. King of so many millions of years ago till today we are speaking about him. What is he doing? He's bowing down before the Lord. And what's his desire? What's his desire? His desire is to fulfill Krishna's desire. He's a king. He can get how much sense enjoyment he wants. He can get how many ever women he wants, how much ever food he wants. He can go to the best of places. He can, make so many people do whatever he likes to do, control so many people, make them do what he wants to do. But what is he actually doing? What is his desire? How can I please Krishna? That's what his desire is. How can I please Krishna? And then this is how he's become a pure devotee of Krishna. Matpara. Matpara, always thinking about Krishna. The word Matpara is most significant in this connection. How can one become a Matpara is described in the life of Maharaj Ambarish. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and Acharya, in the line of the Matpara remarks, Mad Bhakti Prabhavena Sarvendriya Vijaya Purvika Swatma Drishtihi Sulabeti Bhavaha. The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. So if we try any artificial methods, I'm going to control my senses, we won't be able to do it. It's only when we engage in bhakti can we control the senses. Only by that. Only the strength will come only when we engage in bhakti. Otherwise, the senses are too strong, too strong. Also, the example of fire is given sometimes as a blazing fire burns everything within a room. Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. So which kind of yogi is this? A bhakti yogi. Bhakti yogi, one who's engaging in devotional service. So what happens there? But Krishna sees he has a sincere desire. He's engaging in bhakti. He wants to come back to me. He wants to know me. He wants to be situated in his original position. He wants to again revive our loving relationship. So what does he do? Krishna is the Paramatma in the heart. He is the Paramatma. What does he do? He cleans our heart. He burns up all kinds of impurities. So who's the master? Who's the servant? We put in all kind of garbage in our heart and we leave the cleaning for Krishna. So who's really the servant here? Krishna is cleaning our heart. And we say, I don't want to be Krishna's servant. Why should I be Krishna's servant? What do you mean by being Krishna's servant? It's because we have a very negative connotation to the word servant in the material world. We know, oh, servant, somebody's going to exploit me. Somebody's going to make me their slave. I'm going to be unhappy. And Krishna is not like that. On the transcendental platform, there is no difference between master and servant, Srila Prabhupada says. And we can see that here practically. Krishna is cleaning up our heart, burns up all kinds of impurities. Impurities means what? Dirty things, right? Dirty things. So we are letting Krishna clean up the dirt in our heart. We can't clean it up by ourselves. There is no way. The only thing we know is how to put it there. That's the only thing we know. But we don't know how to take it out. We can't take it out by ourselves. The only way to take it out is bhakti, hearing and chanting, becoming a devotee of Krishna. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so-called yogis who meditate on something other than the Vishnu form simply waste their time in a vain search after some phantasmagoria. So as Sneha just pointed out, if you're going to just think light and this, it's just waste of time. Depends, what's their intention then. So-called yogi, they're not even a true yogi. They really don't want to understand the absolute truth. Yoga means what? To connect to Krishna, to connect to the Supreme. That is yoga. But the person really does not want to connect to the Supreme. So that's why he's called a so-called yogi, because he's manufacturing something else and doing whatever he wants by some mental imagination. We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of the real yoga. So that is yoga. Becoming a devotee. Become Krishna conscious. Hear and chant. Hear and chant. That is yoga. That's bhakti yoga. Is that okay? Any questions or comments? Or anything to add? If no, then we'll just stop here. I think I put everyone to sleep. Anyway, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.